On today's primetime local news, businesses in the border city are being trained in artificial intelligence.
We're finding in Alberta that a lot of people are wanting to know more about artificial intelligence and how they can leverage it.
The Olive Tree is expanding their organization to create more space.
We kind of lack that type of environment in the city right now, so we saw it as an opportunity that we could provide another service.
And an award-winning martial arts club in Lloydminster proves why they're so successful. Plus, families came out to celebrate winter at a skate party last night that took place at Bud Miller Park.
Prime time local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Earlier today, startup Lloydminster held a workshop which focused on artificial intelligence and machine learning. And as our Jasmine King tells us, involving these techniques in your business could be very beneficial.
A value that has impact for business is promote. Okay?
The day was filled with presentations on how AI works and teaching local businesses how they can use it to their advantage.
Help build out the ecosystem, understanding of artificial and machine intelligence, and to help businesses in all of the local communities to start on the journey. So we're finding in Alberta that a lot of people are wanting to know more about artificial intelligence and how they can leverage it to improve their business. And so we're out here building the literacy, basic technical training, and business understanding to start them on that journey.
The workshop was put on by the city, Community Futures Lloydminster, and more. Alberta Innovates was also one of the sponsors, and they have been recently touring Alberta giving presentations.
Alberta Innovates enabled all the rural regions to have Amy come out to do some education events around machine learning and artificial intelligence. What I'm looking for is for those applications for my clients, for businesses in the region, how they can integrate machine learning and artificial intelligence in their businesses to be more successful long term.
They wanted to teach people at the workshop that using AI in everyday parts of their business can be very useful.
Decrease operational costs for sure. So better understanding the need to not have so much inventory, decreasing your costs in that regard. Being able to better connect at any time, anywhere with your customer to increase your revenue because you're going to make more sales because you understand them better. So those are some of the things that you would use to leverage kind of that business relationship.
Jasmine King, Primetime Local News.
The Olive Tree is expanding, getting ready to open a new reclaimed store in Lloydminster offering used furniture. Seeing a need in the city, the Olive Tree will be collecting gently used furniture and appliances.
We kind of lack that type of environment in the city right now, so we saw it as an opportunity that we could provide another service within Lloydminster. We don't really have a lot of room in the store left, so it was a great chance to do that, and we're hoping to do some repairs and small things like that to the furniture, so we have the space in order to do that there.
The new space will also house some educational programs, including an introductory carpentry class.
We'll be able to register for that, like I said, hopefully by the fall. We find that a lot of people in the city don't have a lot of things to do in the daytime, so we're trying to hopefully provide programming within that. Some of it might be life skills, introduction to carpentry, and possibly some other stuff as well.
The Olive Tree is currently accepting furniture and hopes to have the reclaimed store open in April. Well, we've had great weather, but it's about to turn. Here's Eric Bay with your weekend weather.
Thanks, Judy. Well, I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but that nice weather we have seen today is about to change. As you can see, currently sitting right now, -1 degree, but Lloydminster is under a snowfall warning, expecting about 10 centimeters here in the next 24 hours, so do be careful. We'll have more on that here in one sec. Currently right now, though, around the region, -2 in Marwayne, -5s in the north in Cold Lake and Bonnyville, all the way down to -9 up in Lac La Biche, -6 over in St. Paul, -7 Edmonton, -6 Vegreville. 2 degrees though down in Provost, and now over on that Saskatchewan side of the border, -9 up in Isle La Crosse, 1 degree in Green Lake, 0 in Meadow Lake, -5 in Pierceland, -2 St. Walburg, 2 degrees North Battleford, and -1 in Maidstone. Now touching on that snowfall warning I was talking about, dropping down to -15 here tonight with a 30% chance of those flurries making landfall here this evening before starting up again tomorrow. -10, that should begin before the morning, and we could see some blowing snow happening there earlier in the afternoon. Now moving on down to North Battleford, they're also going to see some of that snow as well, dropping down -11 tonight, -6 tomorrow, and closer to 20 centimeters there. Lots of snow happening as well. Again, some more of that blowing snow up in Cold Lake. They're going to be dropping down all the way to -17 tonight, -9 tomorrow, but missing most of that snow, only seeing about 2 centimeters. Now taking a look at the 3 days ahead, I do have some good news for you though. A little bit of something to look forward to on a Monday, all the way up to -5 and sunny after that snow Saturday. Also -11 Sunday, and a little bit more of that snow, 65% chance with that wind chill making it feel like -2 before, as I mentioned, some of that sunshine on Monday. We'll have more primetime local news coming up for you after the break.
Welcome back. Some parts of Saskatchewan just had one of the driest months ever recorded in the province. Environment Canada says precipitation in February was only 17% of normal in some areas. Meteorologist Terry Lang says the southeast corner of the province was the driest. Some snow on the leap day could not prevent the Saskatoon area from having its third driest February in 121 years. The numbers were a bit better further north and west, with the North Battleford region at 52% of normal precipitation and Prince Albert at 80%. And here are your agriculture prices for today.
We're a part of less than 5% of Canadian auto body shops and Lloydminster's only locations with certified collision care recognition at City Centre Auto Body.
Arts has been around for thousands of years, but there is one thing that will always be key in this ancient practice. Our Montana Getty went to a local Taekwondo club to find out just what that key thing is.
The family-run Art of Taekwondo Lloydminster Club has around 60 successful students practicing right now. This Taekwondo club doesn't just practice Taekwondo, they practice multiple types of martial arts.
We do all open tournaments, so it involves karate, kung fu, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, kickboxing, and we always do open tournaments so that our kids see other kids doing other martial arts and they learn, right? If you go to a tournament with the same martial art, you see people do the same thing you did, you think they were as good as me. We're good to go. But if you see kids outperform you, then you learn. And that's why I think our kids are so good, because they see kids outperform them and go, I want to do that.
Coach and owner Eliza Ma says when the club goes to a tournament, they expect to come home with more than just a few medals.
We expect that of our students. We train them 5 days a week, a few hours a day. You know, we expect that if they're going to work that hard, they do bring home because they have an expectation for themselves.
And one of the club members who is going to get her black belt this summer let us know just exactly what it takes to be successful in martial arts.
Discipline, you pay attention to your teacher, and you try to work hard as you can.
At their last tournament, Art of Taekwondo sent 10 athletes and came home with 21 medals, which is a regular occurrence for this club. Zoe received 5 of the 21 medals.
Our previous tournament, it was actually my best. Okay. Because 5 medals is a lot.
They have more tournaments coming up, and they expect to keep racking up the hardware. Montana Getty, primetime local sports.
Last night, Bud Miller Park hosted a party, but it wasn't just any party. It was the annual skate party to celebrate Canada's winter. From music to games to sleigh rides, the skate party had fun for the whole family.
This event, I would say my favorite part is the horse and sleigh. I think it's beautiful along the trail in the winter with the trees and the snow. I think they're great, but I love all of it.
For event organizer Mackenzie Dow, the winter months can drag on. Adding games and activities or ways to spice things up.
I think these events are really important for the community. It brings everybody together and doing something they love. And I think that it's something also to do in the wintertime.
We'll be feeling real winter pretty soon. Here's Eric Bay with your weekend weather.
Thanks, Judy. You're right. That winter weather is setting in a little bit again here this weekend. Snowfall warning and temperatures dropping here this Saturday. But first, a look at your current temperatures around the region. -1, another nice one here in Lloydminster. Hopefully you enjoyed that before this weekend. Cooler around that Alberta area though here. -5 Cold Lake, -10 in Athabasca, -12 in Whitecourt and in the central there. -7 in Edmonton, -11 Edson, and moving south, -5 Red Deer, -2 in Rocky Mountain House. And now as we look on the Saskatchewan side, a little bit warmer here actually than the past couple of days. -4 in Meadow Lake, 4 degrees though in Prince Albert, a 3 in Melfort, 2 in Saskatoon, and also 2 in North Battleford. And they also have that snow warning in effect, possibility of 20 centimeters there. Taking a look here tomorrow, that's when you see those temperatures start to drop off. -13 in Isle La Crosse, -10 in Green Lake and Meadow Lake, -10 as well in St. Walburg, -6 North Battleford is seeing, -7 in Macklin, -9 in Maidstone as we make our way back here to the border city. -10 tomorrow, and again that snow will be coming in probably early morning, a 30% chance it does start tonight, and looking at about 10 centimeters throughout the day. -9 up in Cold Lake and Bonnyville in the north, -11 in St. Paul, -11 in Vegreville, -10 in Vermilion and Wainwright, and -8 in Provost. Currently sitting at -1, as I mentioned, Lloydminster, still sunny, so hopefully you do have a chance to enjoy that a little bit here tonight. Overnight, you can see dropping down to -16, and that wind will also pick up along with that snow, so it'll feel more closer to -20. And tomorrow, seeing -15. Again, those flurries starting in the morning, possibly some blowing snow here later in the afternoon to watch out for as well, as that wind is sitting at about 20 kilometers an hour. And you can see here on the satellite radar that patch there above Edmonton, and that's going to make its way over to Lloydminster. We see that Pacific weather front moving in from the south of Alberta up into the Lloydminster area coming in there. Overnight temperatures, again, cold all around the region. Clear, though, in Meadow Lake, Isle La Crosse, and Pearceland, -16 to -18 there. Bonnyville, Paradise Hill, and Unity seeing some of that cloud cover. -11 in Unity, a little bit warmer than other areas in the region. -17 in Murnum, also clear. -14 in Wainwright, and -12 in Provost. And now taking a look compared to nationally, you see we're a little bit colder. Regina actually sitting at 8 degrees right now, as well Vancouver 7, Toronto at 0. And your 7-day forecast, as I've mentioned here, cold here this weekend, -10 with that snow. Tomorrow, -11 with the snow on Sunday, but something to look forward to this Monday. Sun up to -5, low of -18, and then it's looking clearer the rest of the week. -1, mix of sun and cloud on Tuesday, mostly sunny, and 2 degrees on Wednesday, 1 degree, mix of sun and cloud on Thursday, before dropping down again for Friday, -8, low of -10. We will have more primetime local news for you after the break.
And the question of the day, of course, Sunday is International Women's Day, and we asked the question on how or who will you be celebrating. I say we celebrate a lot of women, including myself and your moms and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, in terms of coming a long way in women's movements and stuff like that, I think we've done a lot in terms of how we've, you know, moved in the Me Too movement and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know if we've moved that far in terms of a lot of stuff like work, pay, and that kind of stuff. What do you think?
I mean, I would say that the last few years, obviously you mentioned that Me Too movement, so obviously we have seen that needle kind of turn those last couple of years for sure, but obviously there's some way for it to continue.
Oh, for sure, and I think that it's a celebration. We should celebrate. It's one day, but it should be every day really to celebrate women. And you're going to be celebrating obviously with your family. You got your mom and stuff like that. I'm going to be calling my mom this Sunday and talking to her. Hopefully we do FaceTime or whatever.
Yeah.
What about you? How are you going to celebrate?
Yeah, for sure. I'll probably give her a holler here. I think it could just be something like Mother's Day almost, just another opportunity to give her, a phone call, maybe some flowers, something like that. Just make it a little bit more special again. Like, she's done so much for me, obviously, so something like that.
Beautiful. I love it. And you can do so much on Mother's Day. I know I'm going to celebrate myself too as a woman. And to all of the women, you have to celebrate yourselves, and hopefully guys like you celebrate all the women in our studios and stuff like that as well, too.
Sure.
And of course, we've got Pet of the Week here. Thanks for sending your pets for a chance to win a gift card. Of course, we'll be announcing that at the second hour of the show.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to have them featured on Pet of the Day. Your name will be entered into a weekly draw for a gift certificate from the Pet Pad.
Joining me today in studio is Josh Herback South, head coach and lead instructor of the Bulldogs Baseball Academy. Josh, thanks for taking this time.
Thanks for having me.
And especially heading into the baseball season, I'm sure you guys are pretty busy getting players prepared for that season. I guess, what are a couple, finishing touches, final steps for players looking to get the season started on the right note here?
It's a process that we like to have in place where by the time we get to season, guys are in the best physical and the best mechanical shape that they can be going into their season.
Now, Josh, for you guys starting the Bulldogs program in 2017 till now, I guess what kind of changes have you seen throughout the program, and I guess some of the players that have gone through it and just really started to excel?
Well, my philosophies haven't changed. I've always had really high expectations for our kids. But what I've seen is a much greater response from the community, much greater enrollment, and we've had a few of our players finally go off to PBA, which is Prairie Baseball Academy, and so they're playing college baseball. Jaden Gartner, Caden Evans-Anderson, and Lane Rogan-Sack are our first three guys to take that next step.
Now, I guess for other players looking to take that next step, what are a couple keys for those, I guess, development tips, whether it might be something mentally or key physical things that lots of younger baseball players aren't quite picking up yet?
Well, you have to train in the off season. If you're going to keep up, you have to. It doesn't mean you can't play other sports. I do recommend that you do play other sports to broaden your spectrum of athleticism. But in terms of refining your mechanics and really elevating your game, it's got to be done in the off season.
Now, for yourself, I guess switching from a former player to now coaching role, how's that transition been for yourself? And I mean, with all your experience in the past, taking that and bringing that to the future, what's that like for yourself?
I took a hiatus from baseball, from a player to becoming a coach. I did some youth care work in between, but getting back into baseball, I would say was pretty seamless. It was meant to be, and I probably shouldn't have taken the hiatus. And getting back and helping guys getting where they want to be to that next level is, I don't think there's a better thing that I could be doing with my time. And I use some of my experiences and the time that I had to dedicate to get to that next level and hope that I can translate that to them and help them get there.
Yeah, and as a former Division I player and having tons of baseball experience for yourself, just being able to put on those camps and I guess helping out other future players hoping to fill the shoes you were in previously is got to be something amazing. What kind of camps do you guys offer, and I guess different levels within the camps here?
So typically my age groups are 15 to 17, that's your midget age group, and then Bantam and Pee-wee, 12 to 14, but we just started offering a Bullpups program, so kids 9 to 11, so we can start getting them doing the proper fundamentals, proper motions, proper language a little bit earlier, but we offer that stuff all throughout the off season. Once we get into summer here, I revert more to private lessons, and I let the guys go back and train with their teams so they can start hearing somebody else's voice other than mine.
So they can, I guess, quit getting annoyed of you maybe if they're doing something wrong there.
I'm sure there's times where they do get annoyed at me, but if they're doing things right, they typically don't hear me say anything.
Okay, and I guess now I saw you guys have a fall ball program as well as winter training sessions. And you mentioned that winter training is sort of key for players to keep moving on to that next level. And fall ball as well, I guess, keeping that competition all year round. Just talk about that and being able to play against other teams as well.
Fall ball is a great time for development where you can still have the weather to play, and there's very little on the line in terms of provincials, and the focus reverts from winning to development, and you can still be in competition mode with far less to lose, and it takes a lot of pressure off guys, and it allows them to apply the things that they're learning in practice, that they're training at the academy, to do it in a game setting so they can build their confidence, get some small successes, and then translate that into their regular season, and then hopefully playoffs or provincials, whatever that may be.
And it seems like fall ball, a lot of those guys, they really have that want to be there. Do you think it's something for people that I guess are really wanting to, or just for anybody, whether it's a casual player or maybe a more serious player?
I would say for me, I make it pretty clear that if it's casual, it's probably not the right place for you. These are for guys that are dedicated. There's high expectations. Although I do understand other sports are starting, and I do accommodate that. But if people aren't showing up with the purpose of getting better and to help out the team and to help out the people around them, then it's probably not for them. We're looking for guys that are dedicated, that want to get better, that want to build character, and that's the type of group that we like to have.
Well, Josh, thanks a lot for coming into studio and talking with me today. Is Josh Herbach South from the Bulldogs Baseball Academy.
Thank you.
We are here with Sherry Bauer-Gagne from Parkinson's Association of Alberta, Lloyd Region, and of course Ross Richards, whose wife has Parkinson's disease as well too. Welcome for being here. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Awesome. So Sherry, let's start with you. Let's talk a little bit about what Parkinson's disease is. Obviously, you're with Parkinson's Disease Alberta Association, Parkinson's Association of Alberta. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, Parkinson's disease is a neurological disease that affects the brain. And it's what happens is the brain stops making dopamine or decreases making dopamine, which is very important for movement.
And of course, a lot of people don't understand that. We'll talk deeper into that a little bit. But talk about Parkinson's Association of Alberta. Obviously, the Lloyd region. You cover a lot of different places here.
Yeah. I'm out like Provost, Wainwright, Vermilion, up Cold Lake, St. Paul. Yeah. So we do cover a large region. And what we do as an organization is we provide one-on-one support. So we go out and we help people in their homes. We talk to them about strategies and things like that they can help themselves. Some supportive counseling there and support groups. And we do some education, awareness, lots of different things.
A lot of stuff. And I think Mondays you guys have this thing called Voice and Movement. And maybe Ross, you can talk a little bit about that because it came from you, right? This idea?
Well, not from us really, but Linda was fortunate enough to take 2 CRIS programs in Edmonton and in Sherwood Park, and they have voice and movement. They have a physical therapist, an occupational therapist, a speech therapist, and a psychologist that you work with in these programs, and it's really helped Linda, and I think it's a great program. We don't have it here in Lloyd, and we made many trips to Edmonton to access them, but I think it's been worthwhile. And then we're trying to take some of that information and pass along to the local support group here in Lloyd.
Which is amazing. And Linda, obviously, is your wife. You have hands-on experience in terms of watching someone who has Parkinson's disease. Tell us a little bit about that and what effects it has on you and, of course, on her.
Well, I guess what I've said right from the beginning is Linda doesn't have Parkinson's. Well, Linda does have Parkinson's, but we have Parkinson's, and the family changes your lifestyle dramatically. And I guess there's some things you find out about yourself that are good and some that are not so good, but the thing that it's commonly said that you don't die from Parkinson's, but you'll die with Parkinson's because there is no cure. Yeah. And you gradually get worse and worse, and it affects your lifestyle more and more as time goes on.
And of course, it's changed your life completely. What was that like when you first heard she has that, or you guys?
We might be a little unique because we suspected it. The doctor here in Lloyd said, I think you might have Parkinson's. And then when it was confirmed by a neurologist in Edmonton, it wasn't a great shock. And you think back, we knew it was coming. She was diagnosed in 2012, but you realize it was coming for probably 3 years before that. There were symptoms that now you recognize.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it wasn't a great change to begin with, but as time goes on, it more and more affects your lifestyle, yeah.
And Parkinson, when you get Parkinson's, it affects your body in a certain way. What are some of the things that you see happening to you?
Well, there's motor, then there's non-motor symptoms. So there's so many different symptoms. With the non-motor, of course, a lot of people are familiar with people with tremors, but that's not all of it. You'll see people with shuffling, their balance is off. And the big thing about Parkinson's disease is because it also affects the vocal cords and facial features. So you'll have people sometimes they've lost all emotion in their face, and then there's the non-motor. So we've got things like anxiety and depression, and you know they struggle because you'll find people they'll start distancing themselves, and then there's the isolation piece. That's where it's really important with us in the Voice and Movement, because it's a group of peers that come together every Monday. Everybody has their little things that they use, their strategies. Like Ross and Linda, they've got a powerhouse of different types of stretches and stuff that we use. And then everybody has their little tricks that they bring in there. So it's basically peers supporting peers, and it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun.
It's interesting when people with Parkinson's get together, there's a whole different atmosphere takes over. Everybody relaxes, a very positive atmosphere, and something that we don't have everybody in Lloydminster with Parkinson's coming to our meetings. There's a lot of people out there that we would really like to see come out. It's a very positive experience just because of the individuals that are there. Sherry's leadership really makes it a positive thing to be involved with. It's great, actually.
Of course. And so I know that you partnered up with Breathing with Amber and all that kind of stuff. Let's talk a little bit about that, as well as where people can go to come to this, and in case that they need some help. How would they be involved? Yeah.
Well, Breathing with Amber Lamont, she's partnered with us. She's awesome. She's done some training in the States about trying to kind of restructure the way we breathe, going back to the way that we breathed when we were babies. So breathing back with the diaphragm. And so the strategies that she teaches people, it helps them just, you know, relearn their breathing, and which helps their whole body with relaxation. And because of the anxiety and the depression piece, it really helps with that. So she's a phenomenal asset for us. But like Ross was saying, the support groups and stuff, it's more like a bunch of friends sitting around a kitchen table and just kind of laughing and sharing stories, and I bring knowledge into it. But anybody can get a hold of me at our phone number, which is 780-808-5006. They can also access our website, which is parkinsonassociation.ca.
Beautiful, beautiful. Running out of time. And of course, April is Parkinson's Awareness Month, and I hope that people get involved and come and call you and get to be a part of that. And you guys have a lot of different events happening, obviously, coming up. We'll have you guys back on here.
Yeah.
So we can talk more about those events that are coming up every different month, right? So
right, that's awesome, because we're looking for partners.
There you go.
Yeah, we are.
We're always there for you.
Boxers. We're looking for boxers, too.
You're looking for boxers.
We're looking for people who have boxing background, because boxing is really huge for people with Parkinson's disease. So if you can hook us up with some boxers, we would love that.
There you go. You heard that straight up. Thank you so much, Sherry and Ross, for being with us.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having us.
Awesome.